back, people, and today we're breaking down film on Kenneth Grant, Miami Dolphins defensive tackle, number 90 right here. In his first action in preseason, I really liked what I saw from him. It is preseason, you take it all with a little bit of grain of salt, but he clearly looked like, he could dominate that level of talent. There's also some other takeaways that I think are really nice in terms of like how he's built. Looks like he's maybe slimmed down a little bit, but not enough to where I think it's bad. Like you can clearly still see power. I think, looking at like his build from college, I think he was a little top heavy. Seems like he's, built a little bit more cleanly from top to bottom, which I like. And the athleticism and the power is still there, which is very, very nice. Also, effort. He played with super high effort throughout the game. That's something you can't teach. And very, very helpful. Nice to see in a preseason game. That stuff obviously translates over to the regular season. But yeah, he flashes his big time potential all throughout this game. And like all these clips, he only played like 30 snaps. And these clips all come from that. It's very, very impressive. So Grant, I also think, he's definitely, I made a video on Jonah before this. I definitely feel better where Grant is right now. And I think his technique also looked a bit cleaner. I think he played with like more consistent pad level and like hand placement than what I saw from his college film, which I think is the most interesting development from this. The thing that makes me feel the best about his film so far is he fired off the ball with low pad level and got his hands into the chest on a consistent basis. Now you want to see him build upon this, but it's definitely a nice start for Grant. Very, very high on him. He also looked better than like Chop did at this point in the preseason last year. Doesn't mean, he'll reach that level, but yeah, I am definitely very high on Grant so far. So here, first rep, pass rush rep, get off the ball, and he just hits a push and pull. Like he thinks, you have to understand the situation. So left guard kind of jump sets into him, and this is a guy he's reading. So he keys, this could be a potential run play with how the left guard plays it. They're also, down inside the 5-yard line, and they go play action. So Grant kind of reads this initially, sees, he's not going to fire off the ball right away, but then he identifies that it's a pass. He gets control of the situation. He uses a really good push and pull, really good base and bend in his knees there, and then just tosses the left guard away, and he's able to rip underneath. He doesn't get the sack. McClendon, 59, ends up getting the sack, but he goes super wide. Like McClendon, in most situations, actually would have taken himself out of the play, and this quarterback would have stepped up in the pocket and stayed pretty clean, but he couldn't step up right away because Grant's in his face. He actually gets the initial pressure here. Really good job. Like also great. Look at the hip bend. Look at this bend he's playing with. The flexibility. Very comfortable for a guy of his size. And now the QB tries to escape out of the pocket. Then McClendon's able to get that sack. But that was all created by a really good interior rush from Kenneth Grant. Really solid job there. He held his own at the point of attack. Here he tries to get down blocked by the center. He just takes him for a ride. The power was shown. Like he's playing as a 3-tech, and they pull the right tackle. And I mean, the Bears looks like they kind of mess up front what they want to do, because the right tackle and center both go to block him. But he ends up getting squared up on the center, trying to down block him, and he just lifts him up, basically forklifting him. Look at the pad level he's able to play with right here, and the power to push him back, and now disengage after, McClendon comes in unblocked, misses the initial tackle, but Grant's able to clean that up to really hold that to no gain for the offense in that situation. Here's like an ideal 2-gap rep. I think most people would think of Grant when you look at his size and what he was listed out on paper as a college guy. This is what he would do. Play as like a 1-tech nose. He played a lot of 3-tech in this game. That's where he's going to play. I think he's going to play a lot of 1 to 3-tech in that area. I think you're going to see a lot of nose out of like Jordan Phillips. Zeke Biggers, who played, actually did a lot of defensive end, like 5-tech, 4-eye type of stuff. Grant fires off here in a 1-tech, gets control. I think he's firing off with better pad level, which is just a great sign for her technical improvement. I think that's something you can take note of in preseason, is like what their technique looks like. Is it different from college just in their first game? I think he's firing off with better pad level, better hand placement. Look at him get control, hands inside the chest, and now he's 2-gapping. He gets control of this A-gap initially. And once he sees the RB is going to clear that, he boom, stacks, sheds, and makes the tackle at the line of scrimmage again. Really, really clean rep in a 1-on-1. Solid job. Here he is, bullying offensive lineman again. He doesn't make the tackle, but like he's not getting moved. He's in complete control of the situation. He's firing off. He's exploding in that lower half, combining like hip explosion and then extension with his hands to create space so he can shed. The running back doesn't work to his side, but now he just kind of pushes the O lineman into the pile, put him on the ground, and ends up getting involved late. It's just beautiful work. I'm a big fan of KG here. Here's a pass rush rep from 3 Tech. They actually, slide protection to his side, so the center comes to help. Sealer gets the one-on-one. Sealer's going to dominate that rep versus, a backup guard any day of the week. But Grant gets the double team here, but look at this. Like, if he doesn't get the center to come help, he was gonna bully this left guard. Like, he had the left guard on skates. He fires off the ball, throws a little bit of different move, kind of misses that initial swipe right there with the left hand, but gets on him, pushes the left guard back multiple steps. Probably would have flushed that in the pocket, had a real chance of helping out Zach there. But then he gets, double teamed from the center in that situation. But forced the check down, then they rally, make the tackle. That was a 3rd and long situation. You can see the potential there, though, if Grant was in a one-on-one situation, how he would treat that. Obviously going to face better talent in a regular season game, but I just think the explosion is still obvious. He still has that power. Definitely want to bully these guys on a consistent basis, which he did. And then the technical improvement is showing. And he was also playing with high effort, which is great in a preseason game. That we can see that out of him. Here on a stunt as well, shows the timing and feel. This is something you will do. He'll do way more in a regular season game because, in the preseason, they're calling more basic stuff. But here, he's the loop guy. He gets the crash from Butler, 91. He times it up really well, loops around. Him and Sealer are going to be able to play off each other really well in these situations. Great job from Grant. Kind of is the one that gets the pressure. Good job of the QB actually making a nice throw under pressure there. But Grant does an excellent job in his spot. Hustle play from the interior, screen, just get out to the edge. Not normal for a guy of his size to get out and make these types of plays. And it just wasn't one. Like, this one's even more impressive. He makes the tackle, like, solo. This one's a screen where, like, his guys clearly leave him. He ends up on the ground. He gets back up and chases it. Like, for a D lineman of his size to fall on the ground right away and get out, like, on a screen and make this tackle, 8 yards down the field is actually kind of crazy, especially considering, like, this running back wasn't slowed down. Like, this screen is actually a very clean look. Like, he wasn't slowed down at all initially. So Grant, the fact that he's able to get up and chase him down, look at that closing speed. Very, very impressive for the big man. His athleticism is just really, really fun. Also, he got a pass deflection in this game. Nothing crazy to really break down here. He gets the initial double team, 2 guys on him. He realizes he's not going to get a quick pressure. I think this shows off just good football awareness. Other than that, like, it's just nice to see. Get that hand up in the face of the QB. Try to clap the pocket too, because now he's here. He's kind of slowed down. He has no speed to combine speed to power. But he realizes that, just use pad level, get underneath it, bring the hips, hands combined, and then get that hand up. Really good work from Grant. I was really impressed with what I saw. I think, when you watch Jonah's film, it was a lot of, like, either good reps or bad reps, or, like, the reps were, like, a combination or both. Not many neutral reps in his film, because there's always those reps when you watch people's film. A lot of neutral reps where they're either just like it's a stalemate or they're just not involved based on the play call, so it's hard to grade the rep either way. Grant either had neutral reps or positive reps. Like, there wasn't really many reps where I would be like, oh, that was like an actual negative grade. Maybe some you could have lead slightly negative, but nothing to really break down and show. So definitely feel positive about Grant. This just shows me that, like, my initial assessment of him is still on the right track of how I felt like he was going to play throughout the year. And that's sometimes what preseason about is. You're kind of checking on if things are how you initially saw it. Maybe something's changed, and now you have to potentially go back and look and, dig a little bit deeper. But Grant on the path that I'm sort of expecting, hoping that continues. Don't want to get too high or too low from these preseason games, but Grant has me feeling pretty good. So, if you guys enjoyed the video, like, comment, and subscribe.